This video is for every friend and viewer who keeps wondering why one of my arms is hairy and the other is smooth as silk. Before we start this story, I'm just letting everyone know I am not going to be releasing any information about the tattoo artist in this story. There's going to be no witch hunting. This isn't to badmouth anyone. It's more just to educate people who are thinking about getting a big tattoo or a tattoo in general that it's okay to walk away from a tattoo or an artist if that situation was to arise. Now, I've known for a long time that I wanted a tattoo sleeve. I knew what I wanted to get. I knew how I wanted to get it. I knew the art style. I just had to find an artist. And about 2 years ago, I found that artist. His art is beautiful, and when I say beautiful, I mean like the price point was higher than usual. Any of my friends, anyone that I had talked about this tattoo, they've seen his art. Incredible. Like, I was really excited to get his art on my body for the rest of my life. Now, with COVID and all happening, we all know how bad it can be for privately owned businesses or small businesses in general. That's kind of one of the main reasons I don't want to release any information as well. Like, this is not the time to hurt someone's business more than it already is. When I sent the initial email about getting the sleeve done, I was actually blown away by how much space it opened up for him. I was expecting maybe a couple spots here and there if I was lucky, but there was enough space that I was going to be able to get the sleeve done by about May, maybe June if it took a little longer, but it was going to be pretty quick. Now, when I went for the initial consultation, I knew what I wanted. I wanted it was going to be a 2-koi sleeve, one going downstream, one going upstream. There was going to be a whirlpool in the middle as like an obstacle. And the background was going to be a lot of waves and water because I wanted waves and water to be a big part of it, as well as small red peonies around. So when we did the initial one, I went in and it was like the first meeting. He was very professional, walked me into the studio. Everything was cool. We went over a little bit of stuff, and then when it came to talking about the sleeve, he broke it down as, at least his sleeves, they're done in like almost 4 quadrants. So it goes like one part here, and then more like the inner bicep. So like one part here, and then the inner forearm, like one part here. So it's almost like four main pieces followed by the background and everything to wrap it all together. Now, when he brought that to my attention, I was like, oh shit, like no one told me about that. When we were doing the emails, he wasn't emailing me personally. He has like an assistant doing it, so that was never communicated to me. So when I got there, it was like, oh shit, I need like 2 more main concepts because I had the 2 koi fish, but I need something to fill in the inner side, right? I was like, whoa, okay, shit. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people out there that know exactly what they want, and if someone was to ask them for more pieces to cover, say, a sleeve like in my case, they'd know exactly what to do. That being said, I'm not one of those people. I mean, I knew what I wanted, and I hadn't thought about more to add to that, because I also wanted my sleeve to be a little more simple. I didn't want it to be too complicated to the point where it's hard to read, or even for someone else to see it and not know what's going on. Like, I wanted it to be very legible. So at the end of the consultation, we basically agreed that I'd come back in a week, have a week to think about what I wanted to fill in that space, and we'd move on from there. So fast forward about a week, and I've done a bunch of research. I've asked a lot of friends like what they think, and I remember one of my buddies like, yo, you knew what you wanted, just go and get that. Like, why are you complicating it for yourself? And I was like, yo, you're right. So I go to the next appointment, and I basically tell the artist like, hey man, I understand that your sleeve template has like 4 quadrants and you want 4 big pieces, but I kind of just want to keep it simple. Like, I want the water and the peonies to have more of a impact on the piece, and the meaning behind them actually means more to me than like just adding another random piece that doesn't go with the full design. So at this point, I can already tell he's a little annoyed by the tone of his voice, that I didn't bring like a complicated piece for him to go crazy with. That being said, I did put a $300 deposit down, so I knew I at least wanted to see the art he could come up with, because I still respected his talent, and I knew that if he took my concept and knocked it out of the park, I'd still be getting that tattoo. So after a quick back and forth, we agreed upon a design and listed out all the components, and it was all good. Like, everything was good to go. He said he was gonna have the art ready for the day of, because obviously with tattoos, artists don't want you to get the art, say, by email and then just ghost them, and now you have some great art, so it makes sense. So I walk out and I'm pretty happy. We agreed upon a design, everything's looking good. My tattoo appointment is in 3 days, so I'm already visualizing, oh man, like this guy's gonna have some sick art for me. I'm so pumped, this is gonna be sick. So day of the tattoo comes and I go to his house and everything's going good. He lays out the design and it looks dope. Honestly, it looks really good. The front half of the design is exactly what I want. Like, perfect with the kois, the whirlpool, it was beautiful. The inner part, which we had agreed on with red peonies and the waves, that was where my issue was. It was just all red peonies. So now I'm like, oh shit, like my whole arm is gonna be red on the inside. Like that's not what I want. But that's okay. Like obviously it's my first time seeing the art. I'm gonna be able to talk to him and we're gonna be able to come to an agreement on what to finalize, right? Wrong. Man, I don't know what happened, but he just got so defensive when I brought up a couple changes that I wanted. I literally just wanted a few of the peonies gone and spaced out so it wasn't just red everywhere. But at the same time, this isn't my first time getting a tattoo. Like I know that the main point is for the artist to work with the client and like to work together to make the best product. The fact that he got super defensive when I just wanted to change a couple of things to make the tattoo more what I wanted, it set off another red flag for me. And here's the thing, I've been in customer service and client facing roles for over 10 years of my life, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but from being a bartender to a personal trainer to a salesman, you start to learn how to read people, read their tone of voice, understanding what they're trying to say, how they're trying to say it, reading the room. All of this was just rubbing me the wrong way. So now I'm met with a dilemma. Like I'm in this guy's house, he's worked hard on this art piece for me, and I gotta find a way to like back out of this because honestly, for me, it's like I'd rather spend $300 than $5,000 plus on a tattoo that I'm not sure if I want to get on my body. I'm not sure if the artist is fully invested in the project now, and essentially I had lost trust with my artist. And I'm telling you, it was such a bizarre scene because my artist, he hadn't looked me in the eye for a while at this point. Like he's just like looking straight at his computer while talking to me, like few word answers, like not happy. And I'm there stressing out a little bit because I'm trying to figure out how to let him off easy so that he doesn't get upset that I'm not getting his art on my skin. All I'm saying is it was a very weird situation to be in. Now, before you guys get excited about me ripping into him and telling him all this stuff about how it's not how you treat someone, not how you treat your client, I didn't do any of that. I'm pretty respectful when it comes to this stuff. I understand that it's probably a shitty position for him to be in as well. But I basically told him like, hey man, I understand I'm gonna lose my $300 deposit, but at this point, I'm not comfortable getting this tattooed on me. At this point, he's visibly upset, which I understand. I mean, from his perspective, I probably wasted his time, but at the same time, I mean, he got my deposit, so it's not that bad. This is where it got really weird for me, because again, with my customer service background, this was just no way to treat like a client, customer, or even just a person. He just started packing up the drawing, and without even looking at me, just like, all right, just go. And in my head, I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? And he's just like, yeah, man, just go. So I literally had to walk myself out of this guy's house. He didn't even walk me to the door. So I'm driving home and I'm pissed. I'm like, what the hell just happened? I just paid $300 for a shaved arm. But at the end of the day, honestly, I'm not even that mad. I was pissed off the first couple of days, obviously. But realistically, I'm actually kind of excited. Like I get to go through the whole research process again to find an artist that I really like, whose art I appreciate, and hopefully it goes right the second time. But again, this story was mainly just to educate people that it's okay to walk out on a tattoo appointment if it's not what you want. And also, I know everybody says it and you know it, but like tattoos are gonna be on your skin forever. I guarantee you don't want to be a person with a tattoo that you regret for the rest of your life. And I also guarantee you don't have to pay to remove it or get it covered. So yeah, it sucks that I didn't get my tattoo sleeve, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the fact that I walked out of the appointment instead of having a sleeve that I regret for the rest of my life. Anyways, I just wanted to put this story out so people knew that it's not the end of the world if you walk away from a tattoo. And you know what? From what I've read, most tattoo artists aren't going to go about it this way. Most of them are very willing to work with you and want the best product to be on your skin because it represents them. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, it helps if you like, comment, subscribe. If you're feeling a little extra supportive, you can hit that bell icon. That'll notify you every time I drop a new video. Until then, I will see you all next time.